All right. Good evening, USA, Canada, International, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Greginator, aka the YouTuber creator, host with the most, rookie, excuse me, misunderstood, lonely nomad, rookie podcaster of Queens, New York, and unstoppable independent podcaster representing Queens, New York, of course. And you're rocking and hanging with the 87th episode of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, live and direct from StreamYard, alongside with YouTube. And aside of myself is the Instagram live feed. Make sure you turn on your notifications on the gram for me so you can be in the know on when each episode is going to be dropping. Now, a reminder is Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays is going to be when all the episodes are going to be dropping. And also, if you'd like to make a charitable donation to support this show, um, you're more than welcome to actually do this. You can go to my Cash App, which is $ G Money Stacks 555. That's capital G, lowercase MONEY, capital G, lowercase, hold on, capital S, lowercase TACKZ 555. Yes, G Money Stacks 555. And of course, another option is to donate to Anchor, of course. Um, whatever amount of money you decide to donate will be appreciated. You don't need a lot of money to actually show moral support. So don't worry about that one right there. So, and speaking of which, if you're new to the channel in the YouTube universe, whether you are a new watcher, a new listener, welcome to the show. And you miss any previous episodes, whether it's new or the previous latest episodes, don't worry. Everything is all uploaded and posted to the YouTube channel page of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. YouTube channel is where you're going to subscribe to the tube and tap that noti bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. More via content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. And don't forget to share the episodes, share the videos, and of course, download these episodes. Very important. And of course, be sure to tell a friend to another friend, and I will handle the rest at the end of the show, where you can listen to all the episodes in case you missed any of them whatsoever. So that way you'll be able to get to know you'll be able to get an idea on who I am as a person, as I did in the intro and stuff. So yeah. So other than that, a little mental check-in actually though, man. How I'm feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually, you ask. Well, mentally, I'm all right. Despite the fact that the New York Mets season is over and they are they got knocked off the playoffs by the stupid ass Padres, and for the most part, I'll touch base on that on my sports talk show, on my sports cast, which is excellent fun vibrant talks podcast, of course. I'll touch base on that and in the upcoming future episodes. I'll touch base on that, and yeah. Um all right, so physically I'm all right. Spiritually, I am getting there. I'm getting there. So anyway, man, sorry for the noise outside. I guess somebody's actually doing something with their lawn and stuff. Just bear with me, folks. Just bear with me. All right. Um, so Um. Okay, so today's episode we're gonna be reviewing some music artists' discography, um, what went down back in the days. So starting with the Gravediggaz, for example. That's the first thing we're gonna be reviewing today. So here we go. Starting with a little music Kool-Aid up in here, man. So get your water, your juices, your mimosas, your sodas, Gatorade, whatever you want to call it, and get ready to take a dip and sip into this music Kool-Aid. Okay, here we go. All right, the first music artist. It's actually a group, actually, called the Gravediggaz. So, for those of you who may not know who the Gravediggaz are, I will fill you in. Gravediggaz was an American hip hop group from New York known for its dark sense of humor and abrasive, menacing soundscapes. Gravediggaz blended hardcore hip hop, gangster rap, and heavy metal with horror elements to pioneer the hip hop subgenre of no, excuse me, of horrorcore. Really? Horrorcore. Oh shit. That's a new one for Halloween, folks. So that's that's a new one right here. Anyway, the group was formed in 1994, which brought together Prince Paul, the Undertaker, Fruquan, the Gatekeeper, Too Poetic, the Grim Reaper, and RZA. Um, right before he was in Wu Tang Clan, got the nickname the Resurrector. Oh shit! It came about largely due to the efforts of Prince Paul. Fruquan and Prince Paul were previously together in the group. That's a Sonic. All right, a little biography here, man. Let's get into this though. The group's first album was originally titled N- Nigga Mortars. Oh shit. Wait. Hold up. However, this potentially risque title was changed to 6 Feet Deep for the American market. Um, it was released on August 9th, 1994. The four members adopted Gravedigger alter egos for their work with the group. RZA became the Resurrector. Poetic became the Grim Reaper. Whoa, that's a scary. That's a scary thought. Prince Paul became the Undertaker, and Fruquan became the Gatekeeper. In 1995, the three rhyming members, without Prince Paul, released a collaborative EP titled "The Hell EP" with English trip hop artist Tricky. The second full length Gravediggaz album, The Pick, the Sickle, and the Shovel, was less humorous, dealing more with social and political issues. It also used calmer and more conventional production. Prince Paul played a considerably um, smaller role in the making of this album, with many of the production duties eventually taken care of by the RZA and his Wu Tang affiliates, including True Master and Fourth Disciple. A bootleg Gravediggaz album named Scenes from the Graveyard surfaced in 1998. It features 7 unreleased tracks plus some remixes from the first two albums. Gravediggaz recruited DJ Diamond J, Poetic died of colon cancer, which is the same disease as the late great Chadwick Boseman. Um, in July 2001, Fuquan stated in an interview not long after Poetic's death that a new album using leftover poetic material will be released. Nightmare in A minor. Wow. Oh my gosh. Why would you name an album Nightmare in A minor? That sounds very alarming, but the third official album came out in 2001. It featured two of the original members, Poetic and Fuquan. The album is considered to be the group's darkest work yet, including many references to Poetic's struggle with cancer, as well as apocalyptic themes to do with the teachings of the 5% Nation. Although RZA did not take part in the album, some Wu Tang affiliates, such as Fourth Disciple, True Master, Prodigal Son, Beretta 9, and Shotgun Assassin, were involved. That shit is funny. These names. The album was mostly produced by Poetic and Fuquan. A different version of the album, minus the song Better Wake Up, was released in 2002, for which some of the tracks created by Poetic were replaced or altered. In 2003, Fuquan released his debut solo album, Life. Gravediggaz' fourth album, 6 Feet Under, was released in 2004 by X Ray Cleopatra Records and features songs from Nightmare in a Minor and Life. According to Fuquan, he had nothing to do with the release and claimed that song titles were changed without permission, making it an unauthorized release. In 2010, Gravediggaz recorded a new song, Two More Cups of Blood. Sheesh! In 2011, it was announced that the group had been recording new tracks involving Shabazz the Disciple and Killer Priest. In 2018, the Gatekeeper released One Cup of Blood under the Gravediggaz name. And we go to the style and influence. According to Fuquan, the group's name means digging graves of the mentally dead, and it stood for resurrecting the mentally dead from their state of unawareness and ignorance. The group's lyrics mix black humor, including topics such as suicide, death, killing, um, psych psychopathy, hell, etc. Criticism regarding the music industry, cartoonish violence reminiscent of the Ghetto Boys, insane poetry, or early 3-6 Mafia, and historic references to the nation of the gods and earths. The group pioneered the horrorcore genre. The irony used by Gravediggaz has influenced hardcore techno through Mark Newland's sampling of the group's prose in Nassin Bluton. Really? That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, and speaking of interesting, let's go to RZA. Let's go to RZA. So so RZA, RZA was born on July 5th, 1969, is an American rapper, actor, filmmaker, and record producer. He is the de facto leader of the hip hop group Wu Tang Clan, having produced most albums for the group and its respective members. He is a cousin of two other original Wu Tang Clan members, Jizza and Old Dirty Bastard, the late great Old Dirty Bastard, aka Dirt McGirt. um, he has also released solo albums under the alter ego Bobby Digital. Did not know that. Along with executive producing credits for side projects. After forming the Wu Tang Clan, RZA was a founding member of the horrorcore group um, Gravediggaz, where he went by the name the Rizard, the Resurrector. Oh man. So okay, RZA has been heavily involved in filmmaking since the late '90s. He has scored a number of films, most notably Kill Bill Volume 1, 2003, and Kill Bill Volume 2, 2004. He has written and directed in film and television, starting with his directorial debut, The Man with the Iron Fist, in 2012. He has also acted in numerous films and TV series, including the films American Gangster and Brick Mansions. Never heard, never. Well, didn't really get a chance to review this shit, but I'll try to review that shit in a future episode. Anyway, and the TV series Gang Related and Californication. He is especially known for his music production with a style that includes the use of soul samples and sparse beats that has proved highly influential. The magazine The Source placed him on its list of the 20 greatest producers in the magazine's 20-year history. Vibe listed him among the top 8 greatest hip hop producers of all time, and NME placed him on their list of the 50 greatest producers ever. um, yes, so RZA, aka RZA, aka Robert Fitzgerald Diggs. Um, as I said, he was born in July 5th, 1969, in Brownsville, Brooklyn. He was named after the Kennedy brothers, Robert and John Fitzgerald, both of whom his mother greatly admired. Diggs has called his given name an honorable name, given the legacy of both Robert and John. Diggs has a younger brother, Terrence Hamlin, better known as the rapper Ninth Prince, and an older brother named Mitchell Divine Diggs. From ages 3 to 7, Diggs spent summers in North Carolina with his uncle, who encouraged him to read and study. Diggs was introduced to hip hop music at the age of 9, and by 11 was competing in rap battles. He relocated to Steubenville, Ohio in 1990 to live with his mother. He spent weekends in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where his father ran a convenience store in the city's Hill District. Diggs got involved with petty crime and drug dealing and was charged with attempted murder while in Steubenville. He was acquitted of the charge, giving him what he has called a second chance. Now we get to the music career. In 1984, Diggs formed a rap group with his cousins Russell Jones, then known as the Specialists, and Gary Grice, then known as Allah Justice, called Force of the Imperial Master, which they soon after named as All In Together Now in 1985. Around this time, Diggs formed the DMD Posse, which consisted of RZA, Raekwon, Ghostface Killer, You God, Inspector Deck, Fourth Disciple, and Method Man. Diggs and Grice then signed with Jamaica Records for management purposes, and Jamaica convinced Tommy Boy Records to sign Diggs as a solo artist in 1989 under the name Prince Rakeem. He released the original Ooh, I Love You Rakeem promotion version of the EP, but was forced to remix and re release the single when Tommy Boy failed to acquire the rights to the original sample. The re release version underperformed commercially, and Diggs was subsequently dropped by Tommy Boy. Damn. 1992 to 1993, forming the Wu-Tang Clan. After a shootout in Ohio in 1992, he faced 8 years in jail. When they said not guilty, my face stuck in a smile for 3 days, he recalled. I was just walking around town thinking about my daughter and my wife. Right then, I said goodbye to anything that would put me in that situation again. I was up on trial on an attempted murder charge. I was a motherfucking fool with all that knowledge in my head and ended up there. In 1992, Diggs formed a new group with his two cousins and five other childhood friends. They were named the they named the group Wu Tang Clan after the 1983 Kung Fu film Shaolin and Wu Tang. As part of the group's formation, each member chose a new nickname for themselves. Diggs chose RZA based on a nickname he had been given by fans of his music, RZA Rakim, which in turn was based on a song by All In Together Now, Pizza Pizza Pumpin', as well as Diggs' graffiti tag, Razor. He created a backronym for RZA, stating that the name stood for Ruler Zigzag Allah, which further translated into ruler knowledge, wisdom, understanding Allah. When using the Supreme Alphabet, Wu Tang Clan released its first single, "Protect Your Neck," in December 1992. Master Killer then joined the group in 1993, becoming its ninth member. They released their debut album, Enter the Wu Tang 36 Chambers, in November 1993. RZA operated as Wu Tang Clan's de facto leader, producing the group's songs and deciding who would get placed on which tracks. 1984 to 1986, Gravediggaz and Wu Tang solo projects, round one. As each of the group's members embarked on solo careers, RZA continued to produce nearly everything Wu Tang released during the period 1994 to 1996, which included both composing and arranging the instrumental tracks as well as overseeing and directing the creative process. RZA's rule over the clan at this time is described in 2004's Wu Tang Manual book as a dictatorship. He also released a hit single of his own in the form of Wu Wear the Garment Renaissance. The song was featured on the High School High soundtrack and was released to promote the Wu Tang clothing brand and also Wu Wear, um, also called Wu Wear. It peaked at number 60 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 6 on the Hot Rap Singles chart. And okay, when it came time for the Gravediggaz, Prince Paul was thinking about putting a group together. He wanted to get some good MCs. Poetic was another dope MC who was underrated out of Long Island, aka Strong Island. He had one single out on Tommy Boy that didn't take off, but he was a dope MC. As the Grim Reaper, you know how many dope lyrics he dropped. Fruquan, one of the top lyricists out of Stetsasonic. He and Paul were friends already. He told him about me. He said, I know this one guy who is super dope. At the same time, I was also trying to do Wu Tang. I was trying to start my own company and stuff. So when Paul called me up and invited me to his crib on Long Island and told me his idea for forming this group, I thought it would be an honor to be in a group with him. But I told him I'm also producing a group and I'm also part of a family that I'm building. He said, Yo, that's crazy. We would talk a lot of times. Um, Old Dirty Bastard came to his house a lot of times with me. Method Man, too. We all would just go there and try to find ways to get out of the streets. Me, I was trying to get out of the ghetto. Paul had a lot of respect for me, so he helped me break out of it. I think he liked that I was so dark, but I didn't know I was dark. Oh, wow. 1987, Wu Tang Forever. 1987 saw the release of Wu Tang Forever, the Wu Tang Clan's highly anticipated second album. The album, for the first time, featured RZA delegating a small number of beat making duties to other producers in the Wu Tang camp, such as his proteges, Mathematics, True Master, and Fourth Disciple, who are known as the original Wu Elements, and Clan member Inspector Deck. 1988 to 1999, Gravediggaz and Wu Tang solo projects, round two. During the 1988 to 2000 period, RZA ceased to produce every Wu Tang solo album as he had done previously, but continued to contribute usually one or two songs on average to each record, as well as receiving the executive producer credit. I had to put I had to put out Bobby Digital instead of The Cure because if I didn't do that, I would have suffered two things. First, I would have revealed where I was musically too soon. Wu Tang is the perfect medium to expose anything new because I got the most people coming together to buy it. For me to expose it for my own self, I don't think that would have been a wise thing for me to do. I might have caught more people than Bobby Digital caught, but I still wouldn't catch the magnitude of what the Wu Tang could catch. Maybe this year or next year, the game may be different. The Cure is so intimate in writing that you gotta live that Cure shit. I was living like Digital in 98 and 99, know what I mean? So if I put the Cure out, then I wouldn't even be able to get on stage and perform it for y'all because I be lying. Yeah, okay, that part might be true. So 2001 to 2004, post W solo projects. In 1989, the RZA moved into composing film scores. His first work, um, John Mush's Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, 1999, earned praise. He also had a brief cameo in the film itself as a fellow samurai wearing camouflage. The experience was positive, and as he noted during an interview on National Public Radio's Fresh Air, the work with traditional musicians gave him a desire to learn how to read and write music. Um, in 2004, he co-scored David S. Goyer's Blade Trinity with composer Raymond um, Dija Waldi. This is one of my biggest adventures and one of my best feelings. We watched Kill Bill in Manhattan at the premiere. That happened, but you know that's Hollywood. But in Manhattan, a theater, just a bunch of kids coming from wherever, New York, inside of a movie theater, and the movie's coming on. They don't even know that I'm the man with the music. And when it said original music by the RZA, we hear the audience clapping, and they didn't clap for nothing else because the movie's just coming on. I was like, wow, what the fuck is that about? That's different. It actually might be something special. You never care who did that. Once you see who stars in the shit, you don't read edit it. You don't read all that. You you be eating your popcorn and it go right by you. But for somebody to see that and then clap, that's a different thing right there. That felt pretty pleasing. Now, 2005 to present solo projects round three. He he has also stated that the long delayed The Cure album will be his final solo album so that he can devote more time to his movie directing career. Before signing with SRC Records in 2007, RZA was flooded with offers from Bad Boy Records, Aftermath Records, Interscope, and Def Jam, among others, for the Wu-Tang Clan super group. In 2007, he produced the score of the Japanese anime Afro Samurai starring Samuel Jackson. In 2007, he released the little publicized instrumental album, The RZA Instrumental Experience, and worked with Raekwon the Chef on his highly anticipated Only Built for Cuban Links 2. From 2005 to 2008, he collaborated with System of a Down bassist Shavo Ad, Ad Old Oldagian Oldagian on the project A Chosen. The group the group released two singles, one of which Deuces was was included in the 2009 film Babylon AD. The group also recorded an album that has remained unreleased, although 8 of the songs were released in 2015. Yeah, that's crazy. Um, yeah, the time is right to bring some older material masses to the masses digitally. Our fans have been dedicated and patient, and they are hungry to hear music that has set up us apart from so many others. Hip hop is alive in woo music, and with the Orchard, we've got a solid partner that understands our audience and is committed to doing all they can to help us reach the fans. I'm definitely looking forward to working with them to see what else we all come up with. There's much more to come. In 2010, he worked on what was intended as a solo album for GZA, Liquid Swords 2, but the album remained unreleased. RZA also worked with Kanye West on the latter's fifth album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, as well as Watch the Throne by Kanye and Jay Z. And in a 2011 interview, RZA revealed that he had recently decided to clean out his beat machines of instrumentals he made for the Wu-Tang Clan that were never used. As a result, he gave away 10 beats each to Nas, Busta Rhymes, and Talib Kweli, as well as 20 beats for Kanye West, including 2 that were used on West's previous 2 albums. RZA produced UK artist Josh Osho's 2012 debut album Life. RZA also continued vocals to 3 songs on John Frush, Frush, Frusciate. No, hold on. Frusciante's 2012 EP, Latil Leffer. And in 2013, he contributed vocals to 1 song on Kid Cudi's 2013 album, Indica. Um, in August 2012, RZA founded a new record label, Soul Temple Records, with a distribution deal from RED Distribution. On September 28th, 2012, he hosted 1 episode of the web series Equals 3, substituting for regular host Ray William Johnson. He appeared on Earl Sweatshirt's album Doris, contributing a verse on the track Molasses. Despite artistic disagreements with Raekwon the Chef, RZA and the Wu-Tang Clan released their sixth album, A Better Tomorrow, in 2014. In 2013, RZA and Paul Banks began to collaborate as Banks and Steels for what became the 2016 album Anything But Words. Guest appearances include Cool Keith, Ghostface Killer, Method Man, and Master Killer. Two singles were released from the album, Love and War and Giant. No, Love plus War, excuse me, and Giant. RZA collaborated with Ramin um, Dijawadi, with whom he co-scored Blade Trinity and Blake Perlman for the song Drift for the Guillermo del Toro film Pacific Rim. In June 20 in June 2020, hold on a second, folks. Yes, in June 2020, ice cream company Good Humor approached RZA to create a new jingle for ice cream trucks to play to replace the tune Turkey in the Straw, long associated with minstrel shows that often featured racist lyrics. Oh, gosh. Good Humor does not directly operate any trucks, but the company wanted to encourage ice cream truck drivers to not play the song. RZA's resulting composition was released in August 2020. In a recent 2020 interview, RZA discussed the being being stuck at home during the COVID global crisis resulted in him resuming work on his long unreleased The Cure album. Wow. Um, Wu recording labels. Since the early 1990s, various Wu-Tang Clan affiliated recording labels were established. The earlier labels are believed to be dissolved. The connection that RZA had to these labels is unknown. The other record labels were later founded in the early 2000s and are still active in the present. Very little is known about these labels other than the fact that RZA produces music on them. It is unknown if RZA is CEO or has high position within these labels, considering that has he was never known to have a CEO position of any recording labels. Wow, good to know. Yeah. All right, let's go to the let's go to all right. We already talked about Bobby Digital and Stereo. Digital Bullet, Birth of a Prince, DG Snacks, Digital and the Pit of Snakes 2022, supposed to come out. Not sure when that's coming out. So collaboration album 6 Feet Deep with Gravediggaz, The Pick, The Sickle, and The Shovel with Gravediggaz. The World Accounting to RZA. Anything But Words with Banks and Steels. And Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu Theater with DJ Scratch. And let's go to, obviously, I already mentioned. So RZA has been in multiple some movies. Rhyme and Reason, Ghost Dog, The Weird Samurai, Coffee and Cigarettes, Derailed, um, Rap Sheet, Hip Hop, and the Cops, The Lather Effect, Rock the Bells, American Gangster, The Box, Gospel Hill, Funny People, Life is Hot in Cracktown, Repo Man, Due Date, Next 3 Days, A Very Her and Kamar 3, Christmas. I've seen that too many times already. The Man with the Iron Fist, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Tom Young Goon 2, Brick Mansions, The Man with the Iron Fist 2, Mr. Right, AWOL 72, Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stop, Never Stop, Never Stopping, Love Beats Rhymes, Thriller, Motherfuckers, The Dead Don't Die, Cutthroat City, Life in a Year, Hard Luck Love Song, Nobody, Clean, King of King of Cool, Minions, The Rise of Gru, uh, Biker, voice actor, Poker Face. There's no release dates for any of those. There's no release date for Blood Brothers, Nine Artists, Julio Torres, Me and My Girlfriend, and Prophecies. There's no release date on that one right there. So that's to be. And he also has been Afro Samurai Resurrection, Outlaw, Californication, Samurai Cop, Apocalypse, Robot Chicken. Oh man. I never understood the name Robot Chicken at first though, but I'll review that one of these days, man. Anyway, game related, um Simpsons, Marvel's Iron Fist, Snowfall, which I stopped watching, Fresh Off the Boat, Daybreak, um Wu Tang in American Saga, and the Tiny Chef Show. Wow. And let's go over the nomination. So he got some nominations from 1996 um, through 2020. So that's pretty much that's pretty much it right there. Um, yeah, let's go to Jizza. Let's go to Jizza. Um, okay, so Gary Eldridge Grice, of course, better known by his stage name Jizza, the Genius, is an American rapper and songwriter, a founding member of the hip hop group Wu Tang Clan. Jizza is the group's spiritual head, being both the first member in the group to receive a record deal and being the oldest member. He has appeared on his fellow Wu Tang members' solo projects and has maintained a successful solo career, starting with Liquid Swords. His lyrical style often dismisses typical rap storylines in favor of science and wide ranging philosophies, and has been characterized as armed with sharp metaphors and a smooth flow. One moment. Stay with me. Gotta get some water. Okay. All right. Where was I? Where was I? Yes. An analysis of Jizz's lyrics found that he has the second largest vocabulary in popular hip hop music. He teamed up with an education group to promote science education in New York City through hip hop. And after he was born in Brooklyn, New York City on August 22nd, 1966, Gary Grice developed an interest in hip hop by attending block parties as a child in the early 1970s. He was involved in breakdance, graffiti, and DJing. Early on, he developed an interest in writing, studying Mother Goose and nursery rhyme. In 1974 to 1976, before moving from Staten Island to Brooklyn, he listened to The Last Poets. However, he was attracted by profanity rather than content and didn't understand the underlying messages until many years later. Last Poets, as well as songs by the Isley Brothers and the Commodores and the OJs, had a big part in his early life, especially regarding the tone and cadence of speech. Later on, he began to listen to hip hop and R&B. For example, by Secret Weapon and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. In 1982, Grice dropped out of high school in the 10th grade. He formed a three-man group with his cousins Robert Diggs and Russell Jones, who would later be known as RZA and Old Dirty Bastard. At the time, he didn't like the sound of his voice. The group FOI, Force of the Imperial Master, and later all in together, saw the three rapping and DJing, switching names and performing local shows. Since they lived in different boroughs, Jizza and Old Dirty Bastard would travel from Brooklyn out to Staten Island to meet up with their cousin RZA. After which the three would travel across New York City to and challenge other MCs to battles. He left school in the 10th grade, but nurtured his affection for science as he developed his skills as a lyricist. After some years of this, Jizzer was signed to Cold Chillin' Records as a solo artist under the name The Genius. He released his debut album, Words from the Genius, produced by Easy Mo B. But after it failed to sell, as the label didn't promote it, and his rocky experience on tour, Grice became fed up and asked to be released from the label. The album's beat selection is similar to the classic boom bap sound of the early 1990s, while the lyricism subject is the everyday situations of an individual living in the parts of New York. At the time, he worked as a bicycle messenger. Well, in 1982, Jizza joined the Wu-Tang Clan, a group of nine formed by his cousin RZA. Jizza had some high-profile appearances on the group's debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, 1983, including a solo track, Clan in the Front. This combined with appearances on other Clan members' albums such as Return to the 36 Chambers, The Dirty Version, 1995, and Only Built for Cuban Links in 1995 brought him much recognition. According to Method Man, we form like Voltron, and Jizza happens to be the head. Oh, man. All right, so 1995 to 1999, Liquid Swords Beneath the Surface. These guest appearances were followed up in 1995 with Jizza's second studio album, Liquid Swords, produced and recorded entirely in the basement studio by RZA, with the participation of all original Clan members. It was released on November 7th by Geffen Records. The album's complex composition included dialogue sample from the film Shotgun Assassin. The album was met with positive reviews and sold well. It is considered to be one of the best albums from the Wu-Tang camp. It peaked at number nine spot on the Billboard 200 chart and number two on the top R&B hip hop albums chart. On October 8th, 2015, the Recording Industry Association of America announced that the album had earned a platinum certification for having sold more than 1 million copies. It became the first Wu Tang related album to get certified since 2014, when Method Man and Ghostface Killer both earned plaques. In addition, he directed music videos for four album singles. Um, okay. After appearing on the Wu-Tang Clan's second album, Wu-Tang Forever 1997, his third studio album, Beneath the Surface, was released by MCA Records in 1999. The album and its singles Crash Your Crew and Breaker Breaker met with critical acclaim. The album earned a gold certification the by RIAA, peaked at number 9 on the Billboard 200 chart, and topped the top R&B hip hop albums chart. From 2000 to 2009, Legend of the Liquid Sword Pro Tools. In 2000, the single not sure how to pronounce this. Um uh Hip Hop was released with DJ Tomac and placed 11th in the German charts. In 2002, a sequel to his second solo album was released, Legend of the Liquid Sword. It was well received by critics, yet did not sell well and failed to go gold. Jesus spent 2004 touring both solo and with the Clan, and made an appearance with RZA in Jarmusch's film Coffee and Cigarettes. Huh. Opposite Bill Murray, the two also appeared on the Chappelle Show's skits, Wu-Tang Financial and Racial Draft. In 2005, Jizza and DJ Muggs, the producer for the hip hop group Cypress Hill, released collaboration album Grandmasters. Muggs provided all the production for the album, which saw Jizza using chess as a metaphor for the rap game, with most of the songs having a chess themed title. In the summer of 2008, his fifth solo album, Pro Tools, was released by Baby Grande Records. It featured production from Black Milk. Black Milk. Oh man. Oh my fucking gosh. And J Wax. J Wax Garfield. Oh man. RZA Mathematics. And True Master. A very controversial song on the album was entitled Paper Plates. Ooh. A smooth flowing response aimed at rival rapper 50 Cent. After the release, GZA toured various parts of Europe on a Liquid Swords tour, where he performed songs from Liquid Swords as well as Pro Tools. He later toured parts of the U.S. 2010 to the present, Dark Matter. In 2010, he spoke at um, Harvard Harvard University, and he since then has visited, among others, MIT, Oxford, USC, NYU, Cornell, where he met with scientists such as David Kaiser and Sally W. Um, um, Chisholm. Chisholm to seek inspiration. In 2012, he taught hip hop and science with Neil deGrasse Tyson to improve science education in New York City and beyond in late 2012 with the assistance of Columbia University's Professor Christopher Amden and website Rap Genius. Um, he began work on a pilot program called Science Genius Battles, bringing attention to transforming teaching and learning science. This initiative motivates young high school students, especially African American and Latino students, who together make up 70% of New York City's student body, to learn science through hip hop, creating scientific raps, and engaging in a rap competition. In the meantime, he continued to work on a related new studio album called Dark Matter, which is based on a journey through space time, universe, and physics. In late 2015, GZA canceled European tour dates to focus on working on the album with composer Vangelis. It is planned to be one of a series of albums related to Earth, with the following conceived around oceans. Jizza hinted that the albums will be without parental advisory, profanity, and nudity. In February 2015, Jizza released a single, The Mexican, featuring guitarist Tom Morello and singer Cara Lane. They performed the song live along with The Roots on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. On June 30th, 2016, he released a new space themed track, The Spark, produced by Paul Ryder for NASA's Project Destination Jupiter in celebration of the agency's ongoing Juno mission. In 2020, Jizza provided a voice role in Netflix's Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beast as Bad Billions and contributed a song to the series. Okay, okay, I think that's going to actually do it for the music portion. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for the music portion. Um, yeah, this is going to do it for the music portion. Hold on a second. Yeah, the music portion. Now we are going to go to some upcoming games. Um, upcoming games actually. So um, let's get into this segment right here called the video game chamber right here, man. And you know what it is, and it's all about the upcoming games that's new for each game system whatsoever. So let's get into it right now. All right. Some upcoming games that's coming out for this month. Actually, let's just get into it, man. Just cut to the chase. Okay, so all right, so we have Ast Rigo's Curse of the Stars coming out October the 11th, which is tomorrow. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC. Um, Evil for Xbox Series, Xbox One, PC, also coming out on the 11th. And Sound Mind for Nintendo Switch, also coming out on the 11th. No More Heroes, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC is also coming out on the 11th of tomorrow. Let's get into it right here, shall we? Suda 51 and Grasshopper manufacturers Nerdy Assassin Travis. Yeah, I already did that already. I'm sorry. I did that run already. I'm sorry. Okay, you got Lego Brick Tales, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, October 2nd. Fueled Up, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, October the 13th. The Eternal Cylinder, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series are also coming out on the 13th. The Last Crew, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, the 13th. Triangle Strategy, um, October the 13th as well. And of course, we have Dragon Ball The Breakers, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC comes out the 14th, which is a Friday. NHL 23, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One also comes out on the 14th. And Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, Slime Speedway, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC also comes out on the 14th. PGA Tour 2K23, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC also comes out on the 14th as well. As Scorn for Xbox Series, Xbox One, PC as well on the 14th. And A Plague Tale Requiem for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch, plus PC comes out on October the 18th. Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Also comes out on the 18th. Them Fighting Herds also comes out on the 18th for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And of course, also com- and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection is coming out for PC October the 19th. Um, Batora Lost Haven, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch, also comes out on the 20th. And also coming out on the 20th is Norco, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Let's check the review for this gameplay. Okay, point and click games cemented the vast potential of interactive narrative at the turn of the century, employing innovative environmental and dialogue puzzles with evocative pixel art and chip-tune music. Nowadays, we lose ourselves in impossibly large sandboxes with equally extensive choice-driven plot lines. It's fitting then that Norco feels like a precious relic from the Sierra-led golden age of digital adventures. Geography of Robots debut title ponders unchecked capitalism and classism at the heart of America's oft neglected Deep South. Moreover, Norco's retro futuristic and net dot art aesthetic is propped up by some of the best surrealist storytelling I've witnessed since Kentucky Route Zero. Norku reimagines the bayou as a series of interconnected nodes on a map. I bounced around numerous venues, parsing historical manuscripts in rundown shops, buying dog food. Dog food, wow. Oh man. Oh man, dog food. Oh, anyway, yeah, dog food. Hold on. Where did I read? Hold up. This is crazy. Yeah, wait a second. Yes, dog food at a convenience store, fetching hallucinogens from grimy bathroom stalls, and speaking with the citizens. Each vignette pops with psychedelic hues, rivers sparkle beneath the tree line. Half light casts launch atoms across grassy knolls. Watercolor clouds form above the empty freeway. Norco's writing might indicate that the city is distorted and diseased. Wait, what? Oh wow, distorted and diseased. That's scary right there, man. Protagonist K returns just as her titular Louisian community is on the brink of erasure. Kay's younger brother Blake is nowhere to be found, and her estranged mother Catherine recently succumbed to cancer. In the months before her death, Catherine was conducting research on a floating anomaly at a nearby lake, earning the suspicion of evil oil conglomerate Shield. As Kay, I wandered through a weird, modernized Norco, hoping to find Blake and complete Captain's life work. Norco teams with delightful twists and frightening realizations that brought me face to face with washed up detectives and grotesque machines, among many other eccentrics. Yes. There's a lot of dialogue and world building, but the prose, dreamline, and philosophical quality makes every block of text a joy to read. No, excuse me, on the rare occasion that I had trouble keeping up with the lines, I assessed K's mind map, a smart subversion of the conventional quest log where important objects, NPCs, and locations are linked. Here, I could reminisce about significant events and relationships for additional details. Progress and progress the plot or recall secondary objectives. Norco primarily touts puzzle-based gameplay, but don't be fooled. The loop is chock full of its fair share of nuance. At one point, a multi-part task required me to hover over backdrops with a cell phone camera to reveal invisible solutions, giving revisited areas an added level of depth and wonder. There are even peripheral puzzles that I could have missed if I hadn't meticulously explored environments with my cursor, masterfully paralleling the enigmatic and illusory nature of the story. My one gripe with Norco is its tacked on combat system. From time to time, Kay and her ever-growing band of party members, um, e.g., a stuffed monkey, a fugitive security droid, etc., cross paths with aggressors. Um, Attacks are mini games that range from replicating on-screen patterns to clicking enemy weak spots in timed intervals. I quickly grew weary of these redundant encounters. In a game packed with unique design choices, fighting paled in comparison, and I'm relieved there are only a handful of these sequences. Um, I've never played a game like Norco, which elegantly celebrates and admonishes its cultural root while simultaneously chronicling a strange doomsday scenario. Kay and Captain Shattered America is not so dissimilar from our own burgeoning industrial complexes threaten to displace low income families, automated systems Super Said, human workers, and the filthy rich work around the clock to deter upward mobility. The game isn't always gloomy. One cool night, I sat atop City Hall and gazed at the constellations, which is basically a group of stars, folks, for those who may not know what that is, with a stranger. Hours earlier, I flipped through treasured memories on a faulty flat screen TV. Norco is an unforgettable reminder that there's an inherent beauty behind the madness. Wow. Okay, so that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. Um, whatever. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. All right. I'll next time I'll cover another upcoming game, which is also coming out on the 20th, which is Second Extinction. So don't that. And I think let me see how much time we got here. Yeah, yeah. Let's get up out of here, man. And and if you like what you heard, please feel free to actually um support the show right here by following the show on Instagram and of course um this is Stream Choices on the Go, folks. So here it is right here, man. There it is. That's right. Follow Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, the review show on Instagram, and alongside with my other show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Pod. No, excuse me, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, which is the sports cast that I'm actually doing. I just did episode 35 already, so that's not going to be dropped until Thursday. So, in case you didn't see it, go check episode 35 and the previous episodes in case you missed any of them. Please go catch up on all of them because I am going to actually make sure that I actually be on my P's and Q's with with the recordings of the sports podcast as well. And of course, make sure you follow my number one show, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast, which is also on the gram as well. And of course, I do post on Facebook as well. So that's on Facebook. That's on and yeah, 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 Instagram. So of course, be sure to turn on your notifications for when each episode is going to be dropping each week. And of course, I'd like to say, yes, this has been very, very, very fun. This has been a blast. This has been interesting. Even though, and you know what? Listen, where you can listen to the episodes you asked, of course, I'm gonna fill you in right off the bat. So if you have any questions for me, you have any particular music artists, singers, rappers you want me to review. But listen, I'm very picky when it comes to certain music artists that I review because I don't do mumble sauce rappers. You know what I'm saying? I don't do mumble sauce rappers. I don't do that. Of course, I do simple rappers, simple hip hop artists that have, not only clear punchlines, but clear lyrics and storylines that um that can be relatable. You know what I'm saying? Um also, you're more than welcome to leave a voice message for me if you have any questions. Um, you have any questions for me or anything like that, anything you want me to review, you could just DM it to me. G Money Stacks 555 is where you can follow me on the gram. And yes, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. So that's where you can follow me. You can DM me, whatever. whatever voice message you have. Also, you can leave a voice message on anchor.fm/ meticulous vibe juice pod on there as well. So you can do that. Um, and for the most part, where you can listen to the episodes you asked, I am going to fill you in right about now. So let's get into it. Starting with the link in bio where it says Linktree/ Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. It's going to have a whole list of audio streaming platforms, and of course, YouTube is included. So let's start off with Anchor, um, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, and you are more than welcome to actually leave a 5-star rating on Podchaser, Podfriend, and of course, Apple Podcasts, whatever, and of course Spotify as well. A 5-star rating will be appreciated. So there you have it right there. And of course, you can listen to Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show episodes on Radio Public alongside with iHeartRadio, the #1 app for music, radio, and podcast. And also be sure to follow my other 2 shows right on iHeartRadio. Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, sports show that I'm doing on Sundays and Tuesdays, and also my #1 show, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast. Also on iHeartRadio. Make sure you follow that. Make sure you follow. Make sure you make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. And speaking of subscribing, last but not least, the YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button on the Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast YouTube channel page, along with clicking on that noni bell for me so you can be reminded when each episode is going to be recorded, the time of the live stream of when it's going to be on the air, more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Share the episodes, share the videos, and of course, be sure to download these episodes, which is really important to actually, push this show up. And of course, tell a friend to another friend. Also, be sure to listen, stream, watch these episodes in case you miss any of them. Everything's all uploaded and posted to the YouTube channel page and along with audio streaming platforms. So be sure to share the podcast along with the link that says Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast alongside with your wives, your husbands, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, and alongside with your friends and the people you are cool with from work and all that other great stuff. So yeah. And yes, that's gonna do it for me. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and hanging out with me on this episode 87. Back in the days. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. New York wasn't built in a day. Trust the process. Don't rush the process creatively. And the most important thing is to find something that makes you happy mentally, physically, and spiritually. Because at the end of the day, you do want to find your voice. You also want to be confident in your stuff you're creating, and of course follow your goals and dreams, which is also important. and and of course, be on your P's and Q's on a consistency basis, and of course, find something that clicks to you and that gets you into your zone. And alongside with what clicks to you in your zone is to have tunnel vision and the confidence, creatively speaking. Don't worry about being a people pleaser. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to waste your energy on being a people pleaser because I'm actually learning that being a people pleaser is too much work. The only thing I have to do is just try to please me. And that's all you can do is please you, yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else. Just be you. And all that will grow. And that's what really stands out. And I also do this because I want to relieve people of the stress that they have from, long days of work where there's, you know, craziness in the family and all that other shit. The ones that's not really morally supportive and stuff like that. I try to do my best to actually, give you the give you more content as far as like, you know, giving you something to smile about. You know what I'm saying? um. So yeah, there you have it, folks. I'm off this shit. I'm out of here. Thank you very much for rocking and hanging out with me. And I hope you had a nice, great weekend. And of course, for all the Italian Americans out there who is basically, celebrating Columbus Day, aka the Indigenous People Day, whatever it is, whatsoever. Um, Hope you're enjoying the parade out there. I know it's a lot of fun and shit though, man. But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I'm out of here. Peace and one love. Be safe out there. Take care of one another, man. And you know, and remember to take time for your well-being because your well-being along with mental health is priceless. You can't put money on this. It can't be brought. Remember that. Peace and one love, and good night, folks.